I hate videos. Now, you may be wondering, if I hate videos, what the heck am I doing here? Woohoo! Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am super excited to be able to spend a little bit of time with you. I feel like it's been forever, but today is Wonder Women Wednesday, episode 29. I will be live with a wonderful woman, Bridget Bojkowszky, and she is really a genius when it comes to branding. Um, I'm excited to hear from her and just share a little bit her insights with you in terms of how she overcomes adversity. Believe me, you want to stay tuned for this. And if you are watching us on the replay, please let us know by commenting hashtag replay. If you and I have not met yet, I apologize. My name is Inga van Roy, and I'm recognized as a community connection catalyst. I help you build your community because, as I always say, community is everything. And I truly believe that no man is an island and we need one another in order to survive and flourish in this thing called life. We are all one strand of this tapestry. So why don't we come together and make a beautiful picture? Of course, you know that I'm driven by the power of Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. And I truly believe that we are the ones that are building each other up and helping each other just flourish in this life. I am just wrapping up a little song on the radio, so I'm getting ready to acknowledge it. And if you are tuned in on radio, I want to say I hope you enjoyed that music. It was by Amanda Black. The first song was entitled Africa, and the second one was Egoli. Today, we will be talking to an amazing woman named Brigitte Bojkowszky, and she and I are going to be talking about how she has overcome adversity. Um, if you want to listen on radio instead of watching live, please do so by going to this website. I'm going to play it across your screen so you can see. We are also live on africa.co.za. And if you are listening live on radio and would like to be part of the conversation and send me a message, you may do so by sending me a message to the following number +27697144520. Without further ado, why don't we welcome our wonderful guest, Bridget? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, hello. I'm so happy to be your guest. It's wonderful to be here with you today and talking a little bit about my journey, Igor.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us, Bridget. Um, Before we jump into the conversation, won't you please tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I think it's gonna be a longer story. I try to keep it short. I had a rather unconventional journey in my life. Unconventional insofar that I went through different life stages. I mean, like everyone does, but
Yeah.
I worked into different professions. And the first thing I did, I became a flight attendant. It was always my child's dream to become a flight attendant. So I did that, and I experienced a wonderful life for 5 years, flying around the world and diving into different mentalities and cultures and seeing the world, and getting to know, people from different parts of the world and how they perceive things and how they are doing things and what kind of meaning they attach to things that might be different to ours. So I found that very exciting. And also, of course, my job as a flight attendant to creating these exceptional experiences on board for our passengers. It was offering them service with excellence. So that was what we did. We went the extra mile. We wanted our passengers to be happy, to have a comfortable flight, and to feel safe and to feel welcome. And that's what I did at the beginning. So that was my first kind of stage or lifespan or my life phase. And then I was not really intellectually challenged anymore after a while. I was flying the world, and then I was like, okay, is this it? I asked myself, is this it? And then I knew with 32 years, my contract ended because our boss wanted to have young flight attendants. And with 32, we extended it then to 36, but what came after? So I was really worried what's happening with me after that. And then I felt like I'm really good in teaching others. I felt like I have a knack for educating people and training people. And then I thought, okay, why not studying? So I became a student. So from a flight attendant to a student, I studied international marketing and management and business education. So I became a certified teacher.
Wow.
And then I went back to the industry. And then I got offered an opportunity to do my PhD at the university. So it's when I started teaching. And I went for my PhD in international marketing and management. So I taught for 23 years at universities around the world, everything that has to do with global strategic management, global consumer behavior, global brand management, global branding strategy. So that was what I did for the last 23 years, either on a sideline next to my corporate job, because I also was in corporate. And then when the financial crisis kicked in 2008, I lost my corporate job. I was in the real estate development, and I completely identified myself with that job. It was actually me. When the company went bankrupt, I felt like, oh my God, so who am I? Since I totally kind of identified myself with this corporation, with that job, I figured it's really important that you know who you are as a person, and that knowing that you're actually a brand yourself as a person. And
Yes, you are.
a brand means being aware of how you are presenting yourself to the world. But in order to know that, you really need to go on a deep soul searching mission. You have to understand who you are, right? So I started reflecting on myself, who I am as a person, and to own that. And no matter what, whatever external influences there are, I'm a person, I have something to give.
Yes.
And that helped me then to morph into my next phase. And then I became a teaching professor at the university. And then I also started taking gigs on a sideline as an entrepreneur, because it was another job that I took on at the university, which was a temporary position. So I had it until February 2020, just before COVID hit. And I prepared
Wow.
everything for becoming an entrepreneur. I set up my business model. Everything was ready to go. And boom, then it happened. Everything that I have set up, it was nothing I could use. It was just not feasible anymore to go out with that kind of a business model. And then I had to pivot. So my whole journey was like from a flight attendant to a student to a corporate and back to being a student, then again being a corporate, being also a professor at the same time. But there was always this entrepreneurial spirit, always this, I need to do something that just reflects who I am. I need to have this
Mm.
freedom um, to start my own business, to be my own boss. It was an inner urge, and I followed that. And when I was not satisfied with a certain situation in my life, I always changed it. There was one time in my life where I hesitated, but then then there is external forces that kick you.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. So this, in a nutshell, is basically my life, and there's a lot of things happened in between, and a lot of learnings.
I love it. So, Bridget, who are you now?
Okay, now I'm an entrepreneur. I have
Mhm.
founded Bridget Brands. That's my brand name. So my trademark, basically. And I support organizations, but also entrepreneurs in their endeavor to become future market leaders. So I help them transform their passion, ambitions, dreams, vision into into an identity that radiates everything who they are, their beauty, their brilliance, their authenticity, so that they can attract their clients. Yeah, and be successful, being a thriving company. Yeah,
I love it. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah, yeah,
We know branding is so important, right? And showing up just authentically is
yeah,
definitely what attracts those ideal clients, the people that we want to work with. So,
yes, 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 exactly. It's the people we want to work with,
yes,
and then vice versa.
yes,
People want to
we
work with
want to work
us.
with us.
We
Yeah,
resonate on a certain energy level. We
yeah,
resonate on this emotional level. We make them feel something. And that's
mhm,
where it clicks. That's where we get together. But in order to get there, we have to know who we are and
yes,
understand what we want to project to the world, how we want
yes,
to be perceived, so that we can connect with them exactly on that level. Because whatever we are showing through our identity to our audience is reflected by the audience to us. It's
yes,
how we make them feel about us. That is important.
exactly. Exactly. The branding is what evokes that emotion so that they
Exactly.
have a feeling towards us, right?
Exactly. It's because everyone says, yeah, it's what people talk about you, what people say when you're not in the room.
Nope.
Sure. But there is another layer, yeah,
Yes,
that adds to that. It's the feeling. So, how
yes,
does Apple make you feel when you have an Apple iPhone, for example, or an Apple
mm,
computer? Or how does Nike make you feel? How does, for example, there's a brand that I love to work out as my workout gear is Lululemon. It makes me feel something. I feel like really, really good when I go out in the morning on my morning run and I have this sports gear on. It
mm,
just makes me feel different. It empowers me. So it's really about making your
mm,
customers feel about you, and that holds for everything. Yeah, it's a service, it's a product, it's everything. Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's it's the desire that you or the need that you satisfy. Yeah, it's
yes,
the pain that you take away for that time when you have this experience, and
mm,
especially when it comes to service oriented companies that deliver a service. Like I can talk about that very well because I was one of them delivering on a plane, offering
Yes.
and providing these experiences for over 14 hours to make them happy and make them leave as a happy passenger and coming back. So you're doing something, you are representing a company, yeah? You are part of the identity, you just create an experience. Yeah. Um, in that sense, yeah. So
Yes.
that is
Wow.
really important, and very often we are not aware of that.
We are not. We are often not aware of the way that we make somebody feel.
Mhm.
Um, you and I didn't talk about this, but I'm going to share one of my favorite quotes of all time. And
Mhm.
it is by Maya Angelou. It says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Yes, I like this quote, and I also have it in one of my courses. It's really about how you make them feel.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and that's
Wow.
what we want to do with our identities and with the experiences we create with that.
Yes. I love it.
Mhm.
So, you and I talked about this, but I want to share that I'm all about Ubuntu, which means it's an ancient African word, and
Mhm.
it means humanity to others. It
Mhm.
is often described as reminding us that I am because we are. And
Mhm.
for me, community is really everything because of this principle, because I wouldn't be the me that I am today if it were not for my people, my community, the ones that I have encountered on this journey of life and who've said a little something in my ear, who've made me feel a certain way, who've inspired me and motivated me to keep on keeping on and really to transform and overcome the adversity that I faced, right? So for me, community is really all encompassing. It's a much bigger thing than just the people that live in the same sphere as I do. For me, my community is global, right? What about you? What does community mean to you, Bridget?
I mean, you already said it, but I think also for me, it is a multifaceted concept. It's got also several layers, and all of them hold a certain significance, and each of them play a vital role. So, if I may elaborate on that a little bit, because it's really a lot. It's, first of all, it's teamwork, and it's in its fundamental sense, community is really working in a team, fostering kinship. It's embracing familial connections that we have. It's the bonding. It includes the people I surround myself in my private life because they are creating a support system for me, yeah, that goes beyond these professional boundaries. And then this is kind of private, right? And then there's
Yes.
also on the professional side, these entrepreneurial communities. And here I have several communities. Communities I'm part of professional networking communities like global communities, international communities, these networking communities when it comes to groups of course creators, of those who engage in, for example, running online challenges, then yeah, because these spaces offer these shared experiences and the insights and also a sense of belonging
Yes.
among these like-minded people because we're all on the same journey. It's important as an entrepreneur because we very often feel alone, but we don't need to be alone. We just need to surround ourselves. And if we are searching for that, we will find it. So
Yes.
these entrepreneurial communities, and here I have these international networking communities because it's also a reminder of that we are in a global village, as you say. You're also in a global community, yeah. And
Yes.
I love to connect with this diverse individuals, because they contribute with so much richness. They bring so much more meaning into life, and also the different perspectives that I can have, that they bring to the table. It's just beautiful. And then also women communities. I mean, I like kind of these all diverse communities, but sometimes I also like to be just among women, like
Mm.
women leadership and what we understand by that, and how we can, become more, or kind of um, um, upgrade or elevate our
Mm.
executive presence, I would say. And then also when it comes to communities in a smaller setting, I love accountability partners.
Oh,
So I have been in accountability pods for the last 3 years. So I have one group. It's the three of us over the last 3 years, and we meet every week. It's so
wow.
important, because it's relationships that are built on trust, it's shared goals, it's mutual commitment to lift each other up, provide this necessary encouragement in times when I doubt, there's someone else. He said, okay, Bridget, come on, you can do it, there's hope, and then you find the light at the end of the tunnel. Yet when you
Yes.
start not believing in yourself and doubting, there's others, they 100% believe in you, and they
Yes.
tell you how far you have come. They show you how far you have grown over the last years. And that
Yes.
is beautiful. You're
Oh,
selling the victories, celebrating victories. And it's also um, when we can shed a tear every now and then. It's
mm.
important that we can open up and be vulnerable when we have these open wounds that
Yes.
you will not share in other communities to that extent. You are sharing, but you're sharing your scars and
Mm.
how you got out of that. You show them, you may be a few steps ahead of them or a few years ahead of them, and
Yes.
that's how we connect with others, because they see themselves in you, they learn from you. Very often it's better to learn from someone who still can feel you because they just went through that, than from someone who is a celebrity who has gone through that maybe 20 years ago or much longer ago. It's just different. They're much closer to you.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
feel like, yeah. And so there are communities that are digital communities, but
Mm.
communities in general, it doesn't matter whether it's physical or digital, but communities really matter. And yeah, it's at its core, it's it's supporting one another through thick and thin, and it really is a space
Mm.
feel safe, where we share worries, concerns, and also disappointments, and a place where we can be vulnerable and share these scars that we have
Mm.
gotten, that made us who we are today, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and each of these connections that we find in these communities is a tapestry woven from these diverse threads, right?
Yes.
Personal or professional, and it contributes to this kind of rich fabric. I
Yes.
think that's really a great metaphor of life, and everyone has that. And that's where your saying comes in again. I am because we are, because it makes you you.
Mm.
Yeah, it's part of your life. It's
Yes.
becoming you. Mm.
Absolutely. Wow.
Mm.
Whew. Yes. Um, I think about just I have a I have some friends where um we hadn't connected for a while, and then last week we had a show together, and then at the end, the three of us stayed. There were other people that were with us. They actually left, and the three of us stayed, and we just chatted for a little bit. And then one person sent a message afterwards saying, "Wow, I missed you guys. That was really good."
Mm. Yeah.
Just getting together, doing things and being in touch with each other helps. It really helps us help each other, stay accountable, be vulnerable, and grow into our best selves, like you said. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's also writing a story together.
Oh,
uh, and
yes,
that is about when you reconnect with people from, let's say, prior stages of your life, and you reconnect and you talk about the past, but there might be a chance of writing a new story together.
yes,
The time is right, because obviously there is something if you reconnect, you
yes,
know. You have people for life, and there are other people that are part of a lifetime, of a phase in your life.
yes,
They have its meaning, and they serve for something. That's how it is, yeah,
yes,
bluntly said. And then they
yes,
leave again.
yes.
But there are others, they're coming back, and so you have the chance to continue the story. That's something beautiful.
It is something beautiful. You're reminding me of a saying that they have in English where they say, it's an idiom, and it says, people come into your life for a reason and for a season, and some for a lifetime.
Mhm.
Some
Yeah,
for a
it's,
lifetime.
it's it's so true. Absolutely. I totally believe that. I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's so funny you say yeah, right?
This is, yes, I know. It's one of my flaws. When I finish
No,
something, I say, yeah.
no, it's not a flaw. Um, it's something that makes it's part of your brand,
Yeah,
and it
I
makes
know.
you
It's part of
unique.
my brand. So I'm on brand right now.
Yeah. So, this radio station that we're speaking on is a South African radio station, and it's called Africa Radio, right? So, Afrikaans is a language that we use in South Africa, and we also say yeah, for yes. So, it's totally fine.
So we have something in common, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I haven't been further down than the Seychelles and Mauritius, so that was the 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 furthest south that I got. But I hope sooner or later I can also visit the beautiful country of South Africa.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of friends have been there and went the Garden Route and Cape
Oh,
Town and Johannesburg and all the national parks. And I also want to go there very badly.
well, I hope that one day you're able to do so,
Yes,
um, especially Cape Town. So if you
mm.
look over my shoulder over here, the
Oh,
painting behind me
yes.
is
Ah,
that is actually Table Mountain,
mhm,
but from the perspective of Blaubergstrand, which
mhm,
is it's called Blue Mountain Beach,
mhm,
where this was taken.
mhm.
This was painted from. So let's say hello to who is tuned in. We have Catherine Lang. She says, if you don't know who you are, then you can't know where you want to go.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. You need to know who you are in the here and now,
Absolutely.
a so-called situation analysis. Yeah. This is very technical, but it's true. Who are you in the here and now?
Yes.
And a vision of what you want to
Want to
become.
be. Yes.
And how do you get there? So, what
Yes.
are your goals? What is your vision? How do you get there? Is the mission, the purpose, and the why. Also,
Mm,
with your fundamental values that you live by. So you
Yes.
need to come up with a strategy how to get there. And that is the point. Yeah? And that's why, uh, Catherine, it's so true. It's so important to really understand who you are. Yeah.
Yes. Thank
And
you,
then,
Catherine.
yeah, because then you can make better decisions.
Yes,
What is the basis, the fundament you decide, you make your decision on? Yeah.
absolutely. I want to say hello to our station manager, Sebastian Peterson. He's also tuned in. Thank you for tuning in, sir. And we have Cecilia Less that sent a message as well. She's also tuned in. And one of my listeners actually shared, they said, this is really food for thought. So thank you. Thank you to you, Bridget. Um, Catherine shared this as well. She said, we are stronger together. Find people that will feed your strength and hold you up when you are struggling in the weakness.
Yeah. And that's why communities are so important.
Yes,
Whatever community that is that fits your lifestyle and helps you to achieve your goals, we have to be more intentional. And we can only be intentional when we know who we are and when we
yes,
know where we want to go and what we are striving for, and then surrounding ourselves with the people that help us and that
yes,
we can help. So it's a giving and a
yes.
taking.
Taking.
On us, we make the decision, and we are allowed to make the decision who we surround ourselves with. We
Yes,
are allowed. I, for long, did not allow myself because I was told, okay, we are not good enough here or good enough there. And, there was a lot of playing small instead of
mm,
standing up, owning it. I'm allowed to live a life I desire, and it's totally okay. And surrounding yourself with the people that go for the same thing, who
I
live
love it.
up and who help you conquer these obstacles. And in seeing in a weakness something that there is a beauty, there is a brilliance, and what is it exactly, and turn this around. It is. And also understanding what your strengths are, what can you leverage here that brings you further.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. One more comment from Catherine. She says, everything worth doing and being is founded in relationships. So be intentionally invested in each other to create a foundation for standing strong.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Catherine.
Catherine, we have to connect if we are not
Yes, you
connected
must
yet.
connect. The two of you definitely.
That's
Um,
beautiful. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Bridget, later on, I'll allow you to share about the freebie that you want to give away to entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
Um, but let's go back to the questions. Let me see. So, how is your how is what you do for work related to community?
Yeah. So whatever I'm doing relates to community because I have two different audiences. The one is the corporations, it's the companies. I help them basically um, orchestrating their company identity development. And you can also say if they already have an identity and they are acquiring a new company, as new strategic business unit, how to integrate that identity into the whole mix of the corporation. So that's an identity revamp, for example. So I'm offering them workshops. So I guide these identities in navigating all these different nuances, or nuanced landscapes, let's say it like that, of branding, of brand identity. And brand identity is really a complex construct, as a
Mm,
lot of different facets that go into that to make an identity strong and make it shine, make it meaningful, make it authentic. So I work with executives, with teams in workshops to work on that. And that really goes beyond these traditional corporate strategies by infusing also the personal and the corporate values into fostering deep teamwork, cultivating enduring relationships within the organization, but also beyond. So the aim here is to elevate the brand's distinction, the relevance in the marketplace, ensuring a resonance that lasts with clients. So, and also they have communities, so that has a ripple effect. So a community, a community of the team within the organization, because it's about sharing a unified set of values they base their everyday work on. They live and breathe it every day. So every person comes in with some personal values. How do we align that with the company values, and how do we live that? So it has a ripple effect on the family, on everything, on their lifestyle as well. So it is kind of weaves into the whole community aspect. And as we talked about it, there are different kinds of communities out there in different walks of life. And whatever is meaningful to you at the moment, you're part of a specific community, right? So that's what I do for corporations. And then I also have these entrepreneurs. So I'm working with individuals and who are businesses at various stages of their entrepreneurial journey, whether they are just starting out, coming from either academia, that's an interesting community, and then also from corporate, and then those who are newly minted entrepreneurs who really are a little bit overwhelmed with branding, when and how to start the branding process. And there are also seasoned business owners. I had someone in my challenge, and I did also a values workshop with, who has been an entrepreneur and a successful entrepreneur for 30 years, over 30 years, but she wanted to go to the root cause, to really reassessing the values they have been living by and are living by, and attach its meaning that they want to go forward with. So that was also really interesting. So it's about entrepreneurs on their entrepreneurial journey, and it's branding. And I have to say, and this is my motto, branding starts with mindset. This is important to remember, because branding is a construct that transcends mere aesthetics, such as logo and colors. It originates from one's mindsets, and there is where we start. And that's how I empower entrepreneurs. And there is this 3-step branding blueprint I came up with. It's a framework, and it's transformative. It's a very transformative approach, because it's something that guides them, and I help them going through these 3 different steps. It starts with mindset. It's all about having having a vision. What is the vision as a business owner? Where do I want to be as a business owner in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? But what's my overall vision, right? How do I get there? What is my purpose, my values? And then I think the most crucial part is, when it comes to mindset, is this limiting beliefs that we have coming from employment and suddenly being a business owner. This is the hardest part, to shift mindset, and also to push through fear, because there's a lot of fear out there that we have to overcome. And that's what it's part of this, the first step, the mindset shift. And then it's about personal branding, and it comes to and what Catherine said before, it's about understanding who you are as a person, so that you know how to get there, what you want to become, right? So it's all about persona mapping. There is a lot of layers, a lot of frameworks that come in here to really triangulate. So we have different perspectives coming in to understand who we are as a personal brand, and also the different dimensions when it comes to style, when it comes to role, when it comes to standards that we have. And then from personal branding, because as an entrepreneur, you're very often the face of your company. So
Yes.
how do you create a company brand identity around your personal brand? Is it you with your name, or is it something that is with its own name, an evocative name, a descriptive name? It's not the founder's name. What is going to be your brand identity like, right? Then who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal client avatar? How do you bring that together?
Together, yeah.
Position yourself as a brand. How do you communicate as a brand? Where are the different touch points that you can connect with your target audience? What is the business model, the underlying business model that carries your strategy? Yeah, because you always need a business model, a structure that carries your strategy going forward. So this is something that I do with my clients on one-on-one exclusive coachings. It can also be a group coaching. This is also a nice way. Everything has its pro and cons. It's really depending on the type of person you are.
Wow.
But this is coming from this perspective, the whole entrepreneurial branding process, from someone who understands and works with brand identities, understands what experiences should be like, and helping my clients to create exceptional experiences also for their clients, yeah, and the recognition they deserve. So that is my perspective, my vantage.
So sorry about that.
It happens. You
Yes,
also have to say something, right?
it's
I
the
was
beauty
talking too
of
much.
life. It's the beauty of life. Sorry, everyone. Wow. It's so, you've really given me a lot to think about, to be honest with you. And I know that there are so many um, entrepreneurs that are tuned in, that are listening to what you have to say, and that can benefit from really what you have to offer. So let's talk a little bit about really the offer that you're giving in terms of the free offer that you have.
Yes,
Um,
I have a free checklist. It's called the Entrepreneurial Branding Starter Checklist. So that gives you a really good overview what kind of questions you have to answer yourself when you start your entrepreneurial branding journey. And it gives you an idea what's coming up. You need to reflect on all of that, and you need to make sure you can answer all of that. So it's a really good overview.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. I'm going to drop the link so
Mhm.
that people
Yes,
can
please.
grab it. I
Yeah.
also want to be cognizant of our time. So,
Oh,
can you believe that so much time has already passed and we,
I cannot believe that. You know, when you are in this communication, in this talk, time passes so quickly, and whoop, the time is over. So
yes.
I have more time. So
But I'd like you to, so anybody that is interested actually, you can go to Bridget's website. I'm gonna actually, because I'm scrolling the just the
yeah,
entire link
yeah.
um for the freebie here, but let me put up your website instead. And if you go to the website, there's a banner at the top, and you can see the freebie right there
I
so that you
have
can.
several freebies, so they can
Oh,
choose that freebie. Then I have a brand building freebie that is a little bit more, let's say, has got a little bit more background information. So it might be
yes.
overwhelming for someone who has never done it before. I think the best is to either connect with me on LinkedIn or
Okay.
I also am on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter or
Yes.
on X and on
Right.
YouTube. But LinkedIn is my preferred social media platform. Let's
Okay.
start a
And
message conversation. So let's connect with each other. Hop on a 20-minute discovery call. It's for free. Get to know each other, and let's see where it takes us. So I'm very
yes.
happy to connect.
So for those that want to connect with Bridget, you can check her website out first. So let me spell it out to you that's listening on radio. So it is BRID as in David, G as in get, and then ET, and then BRAN as in Nancy, D as in David, S.com. So BridgetBrands.com. And if you'd like to connect with Bridget and you are listening on radio, let me spell her name for you. It is BRIGITTE, and her surname is BOJKOWSZKY.
Oh,
So, Bridget Bojkowszky, thank you.
thank
I see how you are listening to me spelling your last name, but
you.
I'll tell you, my last name is longer. I actually shorten it just because otherwise I'll be spelling it for days.
Yeah, it took me a while as a kid to spell my own name. It was
It's all good. So, Bridget, let's talk a little bit about your
yeah.
mindset that has helped you overcome adversity. You spoke about that with me before, and you said that it is knowing that everything works out for our good. Speak a
Yeah.
little bit about that mindset. How did you get to the point where you actually adopted this mindset? Can you dive a little bit into it, please?
Yeah, so overcoming this adversity and adopting that mindset that I have right now is a long journey.
Mm,
But I can say that this singular force that has consistently propelled me through all these life's adversities, over the years, is really the profound belief that every challenge, every roadblock, every failure or difficulty is an invaluable source of learning and growth. It's just something that it's it's what, if you understand it correctly, it's what leads you forward. Yeah,
mm,
it's the understanding that this adversity is not an obstacle, but a pathway to discovering one's purpose.
mm,
And is actually a calling that is emerging from this. It's kind of crucible of life's trials, I would say.
mm,
You have that, and I totally believe in that. And also really living and embracing this perspective, truly believing in that challenges are becoming the very catalyst that fuel this personal development and innovation. It's just it's really important to understand that it's not against you, that it is for you. Because, as I say, each
mm,
of these
mm,
setbacks becomes an opportunity to leap forward, to ascend upward, to cultivate
mm,
what is innate creativity for finding solutions. Because if you are in the trenches, yeah, when there is a roadblock ahead, you are in this kind of emergency situation very often. I had that in different walks of life, but also up in the air. You need to find a solution. Yeah, you become very creative. There is this innate creativity for finding that, right? And all these adversities shape this resilience. That's what I learned. This
Mm.
bouncing back from setbacks pretty
Yes.
quickly. The downtime is short. It's becoming shorter and shorter. You know,
Yeah.
at first it's like a week. You're totally, down and in depression almost, and you're the victim. But once you have understood and see it as a learning, as the best
Mm.
possible learning ever, and I think that entrepreneurship, the journey as an entrepreneur, is the best way and the most beautiful way of
Mm.
personal development, because there's all this adversity in it. All the setbacks are there. It's
Yeah.
setbacks where you wouldn't even believe there are setbacks. It's popping up everywhere, and you have to
Yeah.
conquer that. You
Yeah.
have to be up for that. And it's beautiful, because everything, if you look at it, has a meaning. So I'm really a firm believer that the universe unfolds in a way that aligns with our growth. I totally believe that.
Mm.
I've seen, and it has been proven over and over and over and
Mm.
over. And here the community comes in again. It sends, and this the universe, yeah, it sends the right people. I call them the helpers along the way to assist you in overcoming these challenges. There
Yes.
are these people. Yeah, and if you
Yes.
surround yourself with the right people, if you have the right mindset, if you are in the right energy, then you will attract these people to you. You
Yes.
will. I believe in that. Yeah. And they become these strong pillars of support. Yeah. Aiding you in your journey. And you have to have this perseverance, never ever giving up, and this self-belief. And that's why people are there for you. Once you doubt and you're not believing in yourself, they do for you.
Yeah.
Do for you.
Yeah.
Till
Oh
you
my
are
gosh.
ready again to pick it up and stand up, you bounce back and say, I can do it. I can do
Yes.
it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So,
Won't you share with us just a little bit of the kind of adversities that you faced and what it has meant for you to have this mindset to overcome?
certain situations in my life, you mean? It's
Yeah.
like when you know, I was, of course, when I left the airline, I was not sure if I was carved out for that to being a student, if I'm
Mm.
even able to pass any exam. I was
Yeah.
far away from being a student. I was flying through the world, five continents in a month.
Wow.
Did not read or write anything other than cabin reports. And then I was going back to university, and I hardly could follow with my writing. There were no computers, and then I had to
Is
just
that that?
walk with
Yeah.
everything. I was like, my hand was hurting. I was like, am I able to pass any exam? So I was really worried, but I just did my best, and I had this perseverance, and I followed my path, and I followed my kind of calling, which I didn't know what it was. I just went with this instinct. I have to do it. So I was
Mm.
just doing it, and it
Mm.
worked. It's just staying true to yourself in this unknown. I
Yes.
think that is important. Just following your instinct that this is working out, whatever it is, and doing
Mm.
your work. You cannot
Yeah.
just sit and wait. Yeah, this is not working. You have to take action in the uncomfortable, making your comfort zone larger. Yeah, it's just you have to jump, not
Yes.
knowing where you land. It is like that. Yeah.
You're speaking my language now.
There's not always like a destination when you say you leave Vienna and then you go to Bangkok and then you get there. You leave Vienna, but not knowing where you're going to land after, I don't know how many hours that's going to be, maybe years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
just having faith that everything is working out for you.
You.
I
Yeah.
think that is the key. It's working out for you if you're doing your work. Yeah. And
Beautiful.
also as an entrepreneur, I mean, there are the months, especially at the beginning for me when COVID hit, I didn't know uh, how to, I mean, you're
Pivot.
living from your savings pretty much. Yeah. You don't
Yeah,
know whether this will realize in money, in income, in revenues. Yeah.
yeah,
And when is the month when you're finally picking up clients and which business model is going to work, which funnel is going to work? There might be a lot of no, 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 no's. And you think like, nobody wants you. Who am I? Nobody sees me. What's going on in this world?
yeah.
Until you land a yes. Yeah. So then
Woo!
it is hard.
Yes,
You need to have perseverance. This is the
yes,
thing that I really I really want to everyone understand it is joyful and it's the best ever what I did in my life, but it takes a lot of substance also from you because it's when you're not coming from a wealthy family and
yeah,
it's not a problem to spend all the money and to do Facebook ads here and this and that, and you're really doing it from from nothing and finding a way through.
mm,
Yeah, it takes some time, but it's worth it. Never give up, and it's you're gonna get there.
yeah.
Yeah, life,
Perseverance and
life,
resilience.
yeah, and life has its magic. You never know
Yeah,
where it's coming from. Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Let's just go to the comments quickly. Oh my goodness. I know we're almost at 1 hour of chatting, but wow. Thank you. So Precious has joined us and she says the following. She says, harnessing the creativity in diversity, exploring the strength in every individual for optimal workplace functionality. What a rich share.
Mhm.
Thank you, Precious. And
Yeah,
she said
beautiful.
this for you as well. She says, you really are intentional with brands, Bridget. These can only be achieved by thorough research of brand, and that's a commendable attribute. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think even though, I mean, you have to have some background, and
Yes.
through the time I have taught for more than 23 years at university, as I have studied it. There's a lot of frameworks and models that I draw on in order to do my work, and that
Yeah.
has been scientifically proven. So this is part of me. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and that is also where I try to find a balance coming from academia. Yeah, it's a very technical, but on the other side, I'm the brand enchantress. So I try to balance that
Love it.
out. Yeah, on my
I
LinkedIn
love it.
profile. So it's not just, a former professor, yeah, and she's like, it's all the models. No, no, it's not. It's bringing both into balance. It
Yes.
means both of it. Yeah.
I love it. Beautiful. And Precious also said, quite a perspective on entrepreneurship, personal developments being achieved by continuous setbacks that we overcome.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Precious. Thank you so much. That's,
Thank you.
yeah.
Well, Bridget, thank you. You've shared so much value with us. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this time with us and sharing about who you are and what you do and Bridget Brands, and also really about your mindset that you've embraced that has helped you overcome your adversity. Because really, the point is, I want our listeners and those that are tuned in to really see that you've been able to do it, and so can they by embracing what it is that you've done. So,
Yeah.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure and joy. I'm feeling honored being your guest. Thank you so much, and thank you also for the listeners to be part of our discussion today and for your comments. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and please
Yes.
connect with me.
Yes, please connect with Bridget. If you're on LinkedIn, I've dropped her link in the comments so that you can connect with her directly by just clicking on it. Bridget, thank you. Until I chat with you again, be blessed and have an amazing evening further.
Thank you so much, Ingor. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. And thank you if you are still tuned in. Join us on Africarp's website to listen live as I wrap up the topic and play you some music. So go over to africarp.co.za and I will be wrapping up this topic with you on really just pondering on what it was that Bridget covered with us. Definitely some pertinent information there. Until next time, take care and be blessed. If you're still listening on